Could I wait for the ads to run? Maybe. Oh, my cat just got up. She was warming up my feet. She was warming up my feet. Thank you for the sub. Encoding overloaded. I don't care enough. I've done nothing to overload the encoding. That's not on me. If the stream messes up, it's not me. Excuse me, miss, what time is this for you? Okay, listen. Listen. Dude, listen. Hear me out. Alright, listen, okay? Is it 5:02 a.m.? Yes. But consider, one. Alright, I have a couple things. Hear me out. One, I work overnights. 2, it's my night off. So I just slept through my whole overnight shift. 3, I have been asleep since 10 a.m. yesterday. I have not been up for more than 10 minutes at a time. And I forgot to take my ADHD medicine the past 2 days. So I just took it. We're here. We're awake. This is needed. I am awake now. You been up all night? Exactly. See? Well, let's make this so it's everyone. I am multi-streaming right now. Here it is. The multi-chat. There you go. Long sleep is off. Yes, I never sleep for longer than 4 hours at a time, so you can imagine my fear. We're gonna play some Final Fantasy, and then eventually we're gonna do some co-working and stuff because I need to clean, and I need to play my week because I've not been awake at all or conscious of existence, and I have a big depression mess in my room. But to start us off, right, Andromeda? Is this Andromeda? Yes, it is. We're gonna play some Final Fantasy because I haven't been able to play it for a few days. Or I haven't been able to play it properly for a few days. As in, I haven't been able to do a duty. I can't grind my crafters right now because I'm too low level to really advance anywhere. Hi, Andromeda. Hi, I love you too. Oh, I do have to check what I have to make. Andromeda, stop. I love you too. Stop. You're upset because they've been getting locked up every day. That's another thing. Is I haven't getting. We've had renovators in the house the past few days, and they're supposed to be. They come in at 7 a.m. So in 2 hours, I have to lock up my cats. But until then, we're gonna just chill. But I've been grinding Final Fantasy. My crafters are almost all level 30. Oh, yeah, they're almost all level 30. So I want to try to get them all above 30 today, which I think I can do as long as I do this. And this resets at 4 p.m. So I have 12 hours to do this. My little brain can't stop thinking. So every time I lay down, I get back up to my computer to do more coding. That's the other thing. We're going to be doing some coding today. Hey, we're going to grind. We're going to finish my CSS stuff I have to do today. I have to finish my CSS and Flexbox learnings. Hopefully during stream today, more likely at work tonight, but we'll see. Either way, we'll see. Andromeda. Yeah, we're doing lots of things today. This is a big day. I have a will to live. So I have to... Is this the one I have equipped? I think so. All right. So I started making a list in my notes app. I now have a folder in my notes app dedicated to Final Fantasy 14. So we're gonna make all of these. Let me go to my Final Fantasy 14. Let me get rid of all this. Yeah, all this. Need to get all it. I was so cooked the other day. I organized my inventory. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's to my right for those who aren't familiar with Final Fantasy 14. All those empty spaces were filled. What is a will to live? It sounds foreign. It's what happens when you're medicated, VC. Also, my phone's acting up. I think I'm gonna switch from an iPhone to an Android. I think I've reached that point. Yeah, VC. I know not everyone here is used to that. Also, this is not a plug. But for anyone that does play Final Fantasy 14, apparently if you gift, I think it's 3 or more subs, you get a unicorn mount to your account. I don't know how that works. I'm gonna gift subs tomorrow so I can get the unicorn mount. I hope this doesn't sound weird, but I remember you being much farther than level Yes, so it's not weird. I made a new character because I was in Stormblood with my old character. I like just started Stormblood. But I couldn't remember the story. I wasn't attached to the story. I wasn't attached to the character, and I had some bad juju with that character. Hold on, my cat is in my way. Go. Come on, go, be free. I say be free because she has to be locked up in like 2 hours, so I need her to like enjoy her freedom right now. Sorry, the game is like loud as shit in my ear right now. But yeah, I had some bad juju with that character, so I made a new character because my partner as well is still in ARR doing like the extreme raids, and he wants to get a raid group together. So I was like, okay, I was like, instead of me like progressing through the story and like rushing through it on stream, I was like, I'm just gonna take my time on stream building up this new character and leveling everything. And that will probably take me, because what I did ARR and everything in like a week when I first did it, so that'll give me time to like fully immerse myself. We even transferred my character, my old character, to the server so that we could send me all the gil I had. So yeah, that's what we're doing. So right now I'm just making a list of all the delivery and provisioning missions I can do. I'm like so zoomy right now, so I was like, I have to stream. I was like, I can't. I said, I need to be a yapper. My boyfriend's not awake yet. Alright, I still don't have access to this thing, but it's because my freaking leather is like level 40 something. But I started multi-streaming because I used to multi-stream on YouTube for all of my Final Fantasy 14 stuff, just so like we'd have the log documented. But I haven't been doing that lately, so I felt really bad about that. But also, this is like my personal account now, so but I was like, oh, I'll just start doing it again, just so we have that log. But I do play this off stream, so I'll try. I think I'm gonna try not to do the main quest lines when I'm off stream, because I do like doing them on stream. I did, however, need to reunite with Harshafont in a private manner. I did record it for myself because I am thinking, I think I mentioned this in the server. I don't think I mentioned it on stream, but I was like, no. Last stream I think I mentioned it, but I didn't really go into that. I'm gonna write a fanfic about this because I need this. Oh, we have bomb ash. I bought a ton of bomb ash. I have so much bomb ash. We're gonna do some fishing. Okay, I got my bomb ash from the retainer. But I even have the, I'll show you guys my retainers. I organized my retainers inventories and I got a second retainer, so everything's all blah blah blah. I don't think I have this. Yeah, I don't have this. I had to go find this. I have that. I don't think I have this, but I might. No, I don't. All right, and then we'll just see what I need for all these. Let's see, silver battle fork. I need walnut, which I think I have. Nope, I don't. Okay, so I need walnut lumber. I also have been selling a ton of things, so I don't know how much has been selling. I finally started selling things on the market. Just remind me that they banned NSFW content from Wattpad. Like, that's like having no... Yeah, people have learned how to kiss and how to fuck from fucking Wattpad. Back in my day, I learned what smut was from Wattpad. And this is what happened. Also, VC, I don't know if I already said it, but thank you for the resub. 35 months is crazy. 29 months at tier 3. Kind of slay. I need that. I need to make silver ingot. To do a silver, do that. And I need... Oh, my boyfriend's calling. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Okay, my boyfriend's calling on Discord. You did say if I shall take another thing. Sorry for sharing you. I actually played this game for 3 years here. We were talking and we broke up. I just retired. Yeah, I made this character. I made that. Hold on. My boyfriend's calling. Thankfully, hold on. Hello, Stinky. You're very stinky. I was just telling chat. No, that's not oversharing license because between having COVID when I first made that character and then my horrendous ex I had during that character who kept shitting on the game. Yeah, I had to get rid of that character. I had to retire her. She's retired in Stormblood. Probably during a happy moment, I'm hoping. We'll see. But what's let's go for? What'd you do? What'd you do? No work till 8:30. Oh, so I can stream this to you. But yeah, I have gone further in my crafters than I ever did on my old account. 5 a.m. stream? Yes, 5 a.m. stream because I had last night off, so I got to actually sleep. I think I actually slept for, let's see, I fell asleep at 10 a.m. because for those who don't know, I'm on overnights right now. So my work hours are 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. So this is technically when I'd still be at work. But I slept from 10 a.m. till 4 a.m. That's 20 hours I just slept. Yeah, I wasn't up for more than 10 minutes at a time. Yeah, my poor boyfriend tried to call me. He succeeded. I did wake up just to talk to him, but I was falling asleep in call. It was pretty bad. I have no crab oil. Yeah, they split my days off. They split up my days off. So it's like hard to explain. But when they split your days off, when you work overnights, you like 5:13 a.m. here. I finished work at 2:30. Yeah, so we're in the same time zone, light sense. But yeah, they've been splitting up my days off. So like, I'm glad you had that introspective night. Oh, that's gonna be me soon. It's okay. My family is technically French Canadian as well, so you're more than good. I appreciate any efforts. Those where English is difficult. English is difficult for me too. Never worry about that. But yes, when they split up our days off, it's like technically when I work, I'm working 2 different days. So when they split my days off, like last night was my night off, but I still was at work till 6 a.m. or 5:30 a.m. I still technically worked yesterday. So I worked tonight. So it's not like I have an actual day off. But if there's 2 days off, then that's 1 whole day off at least. So when they split my days off, I don't actually get rest. Because it's not like you can sleep at night really, or else you mess up your sleep schedule. But we have made it. So I need crab legs so I can make crab oil. I know that. Our spot is trying to get 10-hour shifts so we get 3 days off. The boss is being a prick about it. We'll see. I'm wishing you the best with that. I appreciate. I have faith. I have faith. I guess it's better than my boyfriend. He works almost 12-hour days. You work like 10-hour days, right? 10, 11-hour days. You might have fallen back asleep. And he only has 1 day off a week. That's ass. The iron head knife. Could I look this up? Yes. Or I'm lazy. So we need extra walnut lumber. I'll put a plus next to walnut lumber. I think I have iron ingots. And I think I have mudstone, whetstone somewhere. I guess I don't have mudstone. I might have mudstone. Okay, I have mudstone. I have to get iron ore. Our union is, wait, 1 day off? Yeah, I would love 4 shifts, 10 hours equals 3 days off. I'd be a happy camper. Yeah, so he works 5 days, 10 hours. 1 day is like 5 or 6 hours, and then the rest. And then he has that 1 day off. It's his schedule. Are you alive? Okay. He's alive. You're falling back asleep? Are you at least watching my stream? Okay. That's all I cared about. You didn't send me a letter. Wow. Okay, well, I'll send you an extra letter today. Then I'm ahead on sending you letters. Mm-hmm. Oh, I was dead. Oh, I was dead to the world. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. I need to make undyed velveteen. I think I actually have some. Yeah, I have 3. 4 shifts, 10 hours equals 3 days off. Yeah, that'd be perfect for me too. Oh, let me turn this on for Nightbot. But there's a reminder about this because I'm going to be live for a little bit today. Long as my internet doesn't crash like it sometimes does. Yes, we'll be live for a bit today. Multi-stream reminder. There we go. Every 45 minutes it'll go off. Did I post this? Okay, I did. Yeah, sorry, chat. This is gonna be a little bit of crafting gathering because I'm a little bit obsessed. It levels you so fast though. You get like 2 to 3 levels if you get these done. And that's like every crafter gatherer. You do like 1 to 2 hours of work, you get everything up to 2 to 3 levels. It's perfect. As someone trying to get level 50 crafter as soon as possible. Alright, what else do I have to get? Malachite bracelet. I think I need to get malachite. With what? I'm gonna grab a ton of silver ingots or silver ore from my retainer. But I need malachite, which I need to get raw malachite from dry bone. To make malachite. I actively dread crafting gathering, especially when you've taken your ADHD medication and this is one of your hyperfixations is crafting gathering in Final Fantasy 14. Let me tell you, I'm having the best time right now. This may not look like the best of times, and I feel like it's very boring on stream, but I'm having the best time of my life right now planning this out. All right, Andromeda, get down. I love you to death. Please get down. Okay, fine. My cat is here. She says hello to everybody. Or one of my cats is here. The other one is off somewhere. All right. Let's see. Oh my god. I had a tweet yesterday randomly pop off. Or was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. To hyperfixation. Yeah, it's one of my hyperfixation. You can ask my boyfriend. You can even see on chat. When I used to stream Final Fantasy like every day, I would get sidetracked so much by crafting and gathering, but I was more focused on the story because I felt like I needed to progress to be a good streamer. Nah, fuck that shit. Fuck this shit. I'm gone now. I'm fully in the zone of I'm not optimizing anything for stream. We're just gonna vibe out with crafting gathering And that is what we get from streaming today. I'll do some dungeons today too. One of my character. Listen, look at my beautiful inventory. Wait till you guys see my retainers. I organize those things so good. What's next? I literally have a little, I wish I had a face cam stream on, but it's a mess in my room right now. But if you could see the list I have going right now on my phone. Okay, so this I'm gonna have to buy stuff for because there's no way. I need mithril. I don't even know where to get mithril. I'm gonna have to buy some of this. Oh wait, I think I have mithril ingots. My other character has mithril. Alright, I need to get like from markets for this one. For a level up. I need this leather, which you need the skin, and black lumin, which I can't get for a certain level. Mithril ingot, and then undyed woolen cloth. Now I'm pretty sure your inventory isn't full of random junk. If you need botany stuff, I can help with that if you want. That's about all I got. Nah, it's okay. Don't worry. I also love grinding the botany stuff because I can just yap while I talk about it. Or no. That's all I meant to look up. Okay, I don't think I'm the right level for that either. So I have to look up what I have to be for that. And this is velveteen. Hold on. Woolen yarn. I need fleece. I have so much fleece. Oh my god. I got that from my old character because I remember I reached this point for my character where I was level 50 weaver and I got so much fleece. But yeah, even my chocobo saddlebag isn't that bad. Yeah, I like all the... Oh, I do level 39. And I'll hit that very quickly. Also, sorry if my talking is a bit off right now. I'm like freshly awake and like immediately jumped into this. Yeah, crab oil, I need those legs. And then you pick a chicks. This. Enchanted iron ink. I need you. You log. Which can go into you lumber. Cotton yarn I know I have. I don't think I have any. I have exactly one. Yeah, we're gonna okay, we can grab that. I might have you lumber then. Yeah. I was gonna ask about your chocobo. Yeah, I'll show it all in a second. I'm just gonna grab all this first before my brain turns off. Right. I think I have iron sand. I have exactly 2 iron sand. I don't think I have this, but they sell this. Yeah, I can just buy this. All right. And then, where was it? Yeah, okay. And the last thing is boiled bream. Here. Oh my god. All right. So all I need to get is I think I have this. Oh, I guess I don't. I know I have this. Yep, I have that. Olive oil, garlic, and onion. All right. But yeah, you see, put into perspective. The other day, I literally showed my friend my crafting gathers. On the 16th, which keep in mind I haven't been able to play for like two days, they were all around level 20, and now they're all around level 30. So if only like 2-3 days of effort, I got them up. But yeah, my Chocobo saddlebag is pretty organized, I'd say. I've been putting my materia, organizing it in here. Yeah, my inventory. I put my fishing in here if I'm not using it. Yeah, this is all like stuff that like obviously I have carbonized matter for grade 1 carbonized matter. I think this is to repair stuff. Wind rock. I don't even know why I have this. But this is all stuff that like people have either gifted me on my other character or I made myself. I think most of this I made myself actually. And yeah, my Chocobo saddlebag. Someone give me this. I'm just gonna put this there. I have this random rock. But yeah, my Chocobo saddlebag is not that bad. And then we'll go look at my retainers real quick. If I remember which way they are. Or which way to teleport to them, I should say. I'm waiting for my mouse to charge and then we'll do a dungeon as well. My daily dungeon. Is that resets around noon? Why don't you work until 8 o'clock? Oh, it's been raining there? Oh. Sounds like my mom's work. Oh. And they think that they'll be able to get that out by then? Oh, I forgot I sent one of them to do a venture. Oh, he's been making sales. Oh, my mithril ring's sold. Look at guys, I've been selling things. And I've been selling them for cheap. I hate the markets. I hate them. I hate them, I hate them, I hate them. Could people be buying to upsell? Maybe, I don't care. I'm doing my part. But I've been selling things for pretty cheap if I have like extra or something. Which he has like 5,000 gil now. Which I don't really need any of that, but as you can see, my retainers are like fully organized to what I need. So let me see what I need to grab for my retainer. I need 10 bomb ash, and I put it all usually in 3 and 4, everything I need for this grinding. Let's see, bomb ash, retrieve 10. Most of this I bought. Put that there. I need iron sand. I'm just gonna take all my steel, iron, steel. Steel, iron, bomb ash. Iron ore. That's some bomb ash. Bomb isn't like awesome, like what they used to say. Okay. Okay. VC man, it's funny because I'm older than you and you're showing an age right now. I didn't actually look if I needed either of these, but just in case I have them. I don't need bronze or anything. I didn't actually look. Let's see. I need steel, iron, walnut, silver, crab oil. Okay, so I need nothing else. Did I say you lumber, you log? And then I need a walnut, which I don't have any walnuts somehow. Odd. That's all I need from this retainer. Wait. Oh, it's a prism. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but I also organize these retainers. Oh, the comments went away. Well, I had comments, but I roughly know what I'm doing. Oh, I didn't look at his venture report. Alright, well, I'm gonna get him actual gear. He's gladiator. He's about to be higher level gladiator than me. Oh no. Oh, max level 7. Okay. I'll make him some gladiator arms. I'll make a note for that. And before I sign him on a new venture. We ignore that I have Bunny Boy. I have Bunny Boy as my other retainer. I don't think they can see your level. Oh, I see, I see. So I have to level my gladiator more. Got it, got it, got it. It's still sad that he got that so fast. Let's see. I need my fleece. I need this. I need undyed. I need cotton yarn. I need undyed velveteen. Wait. No, it's cotton. Cotton yarn, just in case I have that. Oh, this is where it gets complicated. Alright, I have a leg. I need multiple legs. This is where it did get a bit unorganized because I have so much culinary stuff, but I grabbed my silver ore, I grabbed that, I grabbed that. Let's see. I have my mudstone. Let's see. Oh, I just need one onion. Well, just in case, I'll grab 2 onions. Oh, well, I grabbed all that. Oh, well. Oh, this is not what I meant to grab. Put it on here. This can go in here. This go over here. Or no. Ah. This can go over here. I'm gonna try to make this high quality if I can. Which is gonna definitely break it. And also, these 3 things are also organized. So this is like direct hit, or this is by itself. This is all spellcaster stuff, and then everything down here, except for this. Not everything down here is for craftsman stuff. And this I think is for, I forget which one. I forget. And here's only fish. You never know when you'll need a fish. Olive, garlic. Did I grab the garlic? I don't think I grabbed the garlic. Garlic. Beef too. Alright, so everything I need from my retainer I just got. So we now have to get a lot of things. A lot of different things. And hopefully it's in an area that has a chill level. Oh, I thought I had that lettuce. Oh. Well. That's clove oil. Okay. Alright. I want to see where to get everything. Okay. I see where I get. Oh my head. Alright, so I need oak branches, which are in South Shroud, Lower Path. And then harvesting. And then cabbage, North Shroud, Alder Spring, Wizard Eggplant, same place. It's very useful. I've learned to level all your crafting gatherers at the same time, because as you see, there's so much overlap. And then the one consequence is my leather worker, I think, went a little too high somehow. And yeah. The new log is East Shroud. Nine ivies. I'm gonna put that it's level 20. So I can use my freaking whatever it's called. I can use my rogue, which is around that level. That's the word. Alright, walnut level. Is that like a low level or something? Or am I just feeling something that's a higher level? Oh no, there it is. Walnut log. South Shroud. Upper Path. Level 25. And then where the frick is this fish? Let's see what the Eorzea database says. I need to get a special bait for this. It's in Costa del Sol. Uh, wait. Are Ashley and Daniel are in a VC too? All right, I'm gonna kill Kin. And then Spin rejected my kisses, so quick spin. Oh, they've been in VC for like 11 minutes. Do you want me to let you go so you can sleep? And then you can call me when you want to wake up. Eli? Okay, I think he fell asleep, so I'm going to hang up on him and he won't. Yeah, he didn't say anything when I said that, so he's definitely asleep. Hello, Ashley. Hello, Daniel. Hi. Yes. Oh, Daniel left early today? Okay. Okay, I'm glad you're muted on stream. That's because I don't need them hearing that. Because I don't talk like that on stream. We all have... I see, and I think... Okay, unfortunately, I think the closed captions is catching you, Daniel, so can you please not? Let me turn this off completely. I don't know why it's catching him, but lost Discord privileges. I noticed that the other day, even when I'm muted on stream, it's been putting it on the closed captions. I'm like, oh, that's not supposed to happen. SMH, Daniel is now safe to be Daniel. How are you, Ashley? I'm great. I had to abandon poor Eli because I think he fell back asleep. But he doesn't go into work till 8:30. He usually used to go in at 6:30. But he woke up and apparently everything is flooded for his work site. So they're like, oh, don't come until 6:30. Or 8:30, whatever it was. So yeah. So now I'm streaming, grinding Final Fantasy 14. I'm not talking about that while I'm streaming, Daniel. And well, what did I tell you in the freaking group? That's great. You literally have a sister. Don't start with me right now. I've seen people exactly like that get pregnant. What am I doing? Nope, nope, nope. Because you're a man, first of all. While that may be the rules of society as a white man, you are also... Hold on, let me mute on stream. You know, the rules don't apply to you either. Alright, so I have to use... Stop messaging our boyfriends on Instagram. He's always messaging mine, and they were talking. Mm-hmm. Oh, they were talking, because Eli called when I was at work the other day, so they were able to talk then too. And Eli's gonna be at work probably when Daniel's there. No, that actually won't happen. Thankfully. Thankfully that won't happen. No, he has a brother that he actually talks to. No, no, he will not be with you eventually. Where am I going? No. Where can I get... Oh, I can... Oh, I know where to get those. Here, I have to plan this out. All right. We're going to drive out. Yeah, this is so grindy. I love it. Daniel? I joined because I saw poor Ashley in here with you, which meant that you were not with her. You are literally in your car. I can hear your blinker. That means you left her. Because I've been leaving you the past 2 days. Which I'm so pissed. I think they're still doing... They said 3 days. It's been over 3 days. I think they're coming by today because it does not look finished. The plastering they've been doing on our staircase. First of all, I almost walked into a big wooden plank that goes all the way up to our ceiling. And then all their equipment's here, which means they're coming back. That means I have to lock up my cats again, which I didn't even get to let them out until 3 a.m. because I didn't wake up till like 3:30 and Andromeda's on my chest actively about to kill me. No, that's not good. No, because I leave the door open and I'm not risking that. Like, it's one thing if they're just in there, my cats can annoy them. It's another thing that they've been leaving the front door open. And I think their tags are outdated, so I'm not risking shit. You dumb. Oh, I am. Shut up, Daniel. Stop agreeing with me, because you agreed with me about something yesterday, and I remember I actually almost killed you. I think that's when I texted Ashley to take you away. Because it was... Oh, I think I said I looked like something, and you were like, yeah, you do. And I was like, get away from me right now. I was like, actually, get away from me. I think I said like I look like a troll or something, and you're like, yeah, you do. And I was like, no, we're not doing this right now. Hello, V. Hi, V. No. Hi, V. Hi, V. Hello, my pretty. Hi, pretty. Hi, pretty. Hi, V. I know you hear Daniel, you poor thing. I know, he forgets you exist all the time. Yeah. V. V. No, V. No, it's not. Oh, my little Vulpecula. You don't have a B in your name. Okay. Okay, see? The fact you call her other one. So that was actually a lot of malachite. I didn't know you could get... No wonder people gather so much so fast. Hold on. Now I see what I must do. Oh, that was only that one. Okay. Please do. Okay. All right, well, maybe don't do that. Okay, well, they do love you at the police station. Frickin' Daniel the other day freaking speeding, that a cop came out into the middle lane to follow him on his way to his house the other day, and then he sped right past the state police station as well on his way back. He's trying to get us arrested. Oh my god. Everything about him is scary. You literally just explained everything you've been doing. You're doing everything wrong. that's even. I'm just gonna put that there. With what? Okay. I shouldn't have asked. Okay. Okay, I bought this. I have to go. Everything's in the shrouds. No. I'd like to not get banned on Twitch right now. You know exactly why I get banned. Don't even right now. Yet. Where's this? Oh, this is down here. No. No. Definitely not now. I see what we had to put up with. I see what Ashley had to put up with all night. Which, I noticed we got an email. I think I texted you guys. I was not awake to actually send that text about the email we got sent. I just ignored it. I was like, huh? Since when do we care? I was like, I've been doing it the same way for the year I've been there, and suddenly we want to change things up. I said, no way, Jose. Oh, he's level 11. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me anyway. Wait, who? Why? Why are they best friends, Daniel? What'd you do? Feels like you did something, Daniel. Oh, oh. 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 What has Daniel not done? What has Daniel not done? Right now he's oh my god. Ellen said that? I'm getting tea right now. Oh. Oh my god. What did Ellen do to you, Ashley? Oh. Wait, like where we usually used to park before thing? Oh, because you didn't make a comment about mine being out there yesterday. Because I was literally parked right there yesterday. Oh, I lost someone out there. Oh, there it's back. Yeah, when men retire, I forget what it is exactly, but it's usually very hard on them where they're so used to like providing and getting out all their something out by working that men very quickly die after retiring if they don't have like a passion project or something to work on. It's like very common for men to die after retiring. That's why I was so concerned when my grandfather retired, because I was like, oh no, like he's gonna leave us soon. I was like, I'm about to be completely grandfatherless. Oh. Oh dear. Yeah. Well, I will stay if you want me to, Ashley, or else I can go. Cause yeah, I just woke up at 3. I'm like, holy. Cause I meant to join sooner because Daniel mentioned you guys would both be on tonight. I was like, oh, I was like, perfect. And then I died. Mm-hmm. Oh. Because the other thing is, I was literally, oh, chat now it's gonna run right now. Because I literally parked there yesterday and nothing was sent to me. Oh. Mm-hmm. Then you're not the one. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Period. Mm-hmm. Cause yeah. Oh. Um. Damn. Mm-mm. Yes. Yes, I'm leveling my crafters right now. Well, kind of. I'm doing the Grand Company stuff right now. Oh, so welcome. Yeah, yeah, it's a whole weirdness. Yeah, she also could very easily try to do anything with me. Unfortunately, I think I have too much of a tism to notice anything. I'm in my own little world all the time. If anyone tries to, you've witnessed, if anyone tries to do anything, I'm like, huh. It doesn't work on me. I'm too, I forget the word. Not naive. I'm too just not, it's like out of it. Oblivious! I'm too oblivious for all that. I did my corporate politics. I did my time. Now I just ignore it all. Tune it all out. Yeah, but definitely would piss me off, especially that aspect of it. Because I didn't notice they were buddy-buddy, so I can see it. I'm not all caught up yet. My previous character was in Stormblood, so I have a bits to go. What was that? Yeah. Me. Don't blame me. This one. That she is. That did that. I can't. I will say I actually might have to leave VC. Actually, I'm so sorry. I think I have to leave VC. I'm so sorry. Okay. But always feel free to text me, especially the venting stuff, because I definitely get it. Okay. Period. Alright. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Oh, I feel bad. As an Omnicrafter, my advice is wait until you finish Endwalker. You unlock a whole area just for crafting your inventory. Yeah. We'll see, because the thing is, the only reason I'm leveling these right now is because I'm trying, sorry, I was in a VC. There is a specific reason I'm leveling my crafters, which I'm not exactly leveling my crafters, and I do love Fat Cat. It's because I'm trying to level this, which I already got it pretty far up, because I just unlocked this the other day. But I'm doing the Grand Company, what are they called? The deliveries and stuff. And since it's all kind of aligned with the mats, I also don't have that many mats. I don't know if you can see my inventory. I actually just organized my inventory the other day. So if I have any extra mats, I just sell them on the market for other people to worry about. But doing the Grand Company deliveries, because all of these were level 20 like just 2 or so days ago, or under level 20, I think some of them were. You easily level, especially if you get high quality items, which is pretty useful for figuring out how to do high quality items without having to rely on macros. You can easily level them each day, like 2 to 3 levels. And then I unlock the quest and then I get more gear, and yeah, so especially when I'm playing, because I play this at work sometimes because I work overnights at a hotel. Especially when I'm just doing overnight stuff, it's very easy to just level these passively and it doesn't take like a lot of brain power. Granted, I do have like a whole list to keep track of everything I'm doing right now, but it's just nice, fun side content to just take my time with the thing. Eeg, turning in dungeon gear. Well, I like my dungeon gear, but yeah, it will give you, I think I made like, the reason Leatherworker is so high, for example, is because it had like a star next to it, so I guess it was like a high item a couple times, and I got like 400,000 XP just making something for that was high quality. So, and I was like, yeah, that was like 4 levels worth, because yeah, XP out of 163. So yeah, that's the only reason I'm leveling them like this right now. Once they get to level 50, I probably won't be leveling them, just because I'm going to take my time with AR, but yeah, I want to get them to 50, and it's just working cohesively with my levels as well right now. But I have to make, I think, a couple other things right now. I have to make steel rings and woolen yarn. So, which as you see, I have a couple of quests I have to do because I just leveled these yesterday. Yee, this character's an AR. My old character was in Stormblood. So that's also why I was doing all this, but I think I only have till Endwalker purchased. I'm gonna wait to buy Dawn Trail because yes, I'm not on the free trial. We won't talk about it. I did stupid forever ago. But I finished ARR in like a week, but I sped through it so much. Or it was 1 week or 2 weeks. I think it was 2 weeks. I forget. It's somewhere in my VODs on my YouTube. But I finished ARR in like 2 weeks, and I finished Heaven's Word. Yeah, I know the new DLC is coming in January, so I was gonna wait to get Dawn Trail until it goes on sale, basically, and then I'll get the new DLC as well. Just because why not? Final Fantasy 14. It was the case last year, but it's probably gonna be the case again this year. It's like the main game I play because it's just so you can do it solo, you can do it with friends. My partner's leveling his alt for it, and then he also plays Valorant, which I sometimes play as well. So, it's just an easy game to stream for me. It's a fun game to stream, especially when I get to just do crafters right now instead of, because I have finished Heaven's Word. So all I'll say is I may have just unlocked a certain quest and met someone in the main quest, and I'm not okay right now. I'm not really okay right now, so I can't do the main scenario quest right now because I just finished Heaven's Word and had to take a break. You're all caught up main quest wise. I'm so torn as to what I can do. I will say my partner, he has a raiding group that's been going. The reason he's still in ARR, because he started years before me, but he's still in ARR because they're grinding like the hard raids of each expansion. So they want to finish all the hard raids of ARR before they advance to Heaven's Word. Then they'll go through Heaven's Word, then they'll do all the hard raids for that. So, and they want to get all the relics and stuff for ARR as well, for the classes they play. So apparently he needs me to level to 50 for all these for that. That's also why I'm leveling crafters. He buys me stuff, so it's okay. He's buying me the new Valorant bundle, allegedly. We'll see. I think it's the bribing to play Valorant more. Let's see, I just got that. Oh, that's what I was gonna do. I have wool because I just sent it for my old character. Or I can make woolen yarn. Wait, this is missing some stuff, I think. Yeah, but it's missing great strides. I think that's all that's missing. Once you get full game, I'll come get gifts. Yeah, I do still get gifts. I will say I have been getting gifts. I was showing this earlier, but like this pastry fish, Domin tea, hot chocolate, were gifts given on my old account. Some of these I've made myself, but some of these I have not. So I am open to getting gifts, but I've been getting gifts since I first started. But I've been enjoying ARR a lot more right now. It's been so nice playing and just taking my time with it. I'll probably do some yellow quests. I know it's been recommended by a ton of people to do the yellow quest to expand the world more, and especially I'm also a writer, so I've been learning a bit from the game as well. So yeah, let's see, by 50%. No, we want to do by 2. Yeah, I'm gonna make a fanfic, I think, for the character. A nice Harshathon fanfic, you know? Casual like that. 39. We'll do one more. Yes. Yeah, it's not. There's no way. Oh well. Get 2 spindles of that, and I'm sure quick synthesis will give me a ton too. Maybe dabbling in the RP. I got a lot of really good RPers, high-key. Yeah, I'm too nervous to RP. But I think I'm gonna use this character for the fanfic for the Warrior of Light character. I am also 26 because everyone who plays Final Fantasy is like old. Okay. I'm also 26. I turned 27 in a couple months. We need to chill. I'm gonna be 30 in the next 3 years. We need to chill. already had woolen yarn. Oh. Well. Oh, it leveled me up. That's what I needed. That's what I was doing. You know, so many that are almost 40. I do know people who are almost 40 also playing. I will say, I do know that. Do I have woolen cloth? No, I have undyed velveteen. We're gonna try make undyed woolen cloth. Shit, I fucked up. I did not fuck up. There you go. You calling him Unk? That's real. I'll come poke you before I go lay down. Yeah, I want Exodus. That helps at all. I needed one woolen cloth, which I did. I finally was able to do woolen cloth. I forget what I needed it for. If you can catch me, I will be zooming around. I will say I will be zooming around. Anything I needed it for? I need walnut lumber. I need walnut lumber. I need steel rings. This I needed to do a malachite. You're on Fembrit? Ooh, I see. One of my friends just texted me. I guess he's lurking. He said, you're on Exodus crying. Crazy work. Crazy work. Wait, what was it? Oh, I was looking at this. I need to make malachite bracelet, which I need to make malachite for. Great. I never know who's who. And I never pay attention to the thingy thing. Where am I? Oh, I'm on the wrong character. Oh, it's you? Hello. I'm very awkward. You like my fat cat? I have a fat cat. A fat cat. My fat cat. The fat cat I also stole. Hold on, I don't have my emotes set up yet. Well, hold on, just you wait, because I also have... I am allowed to buy emotes literally tomorrow. I'm allowed to buy more emotes tomorrow. My boyfriend challenged me the other day to level up. I forget to where, but he had me level up. And he gave me money for emotes if I hit a certain level on my healer. Funny enough. Yeah, I don't know how to do all that. I don't know how to do these things. I don't know my emotes like that. I need to get them. I need to set up my hotbar proper. Oh. Battle stands. I want Reaper so bad. Reaper looks so cool. I actually looked at what Reaper was. It looks so cool. Victor is your main. Ooh. My main on my old, I need to rush to Heaven's Word for this, but I'm trying to take my time, is Astrologian was my main, and I also like Dark Knight as a tank. I probably won't do Marauder, but knowing me, I'll probably max all these out. But Astrologian was my main, and I love it so much. I'm in pain. I'm in pain. I think my Astrologian, let me look up my character right now. Let me look her up and show on stream. My old main. I used to be I was level 61 Dark Knight. Let's see. Here she is. A bit bigger. Let's see. Yeah, I was 66 astrology, which was my highest. 63 dancer. I do see I'm already higher level for all of my crafters, low-key. Tank, I only played Dark Knight. I love Dark Knight though. I'm learning Gladiator. But as you see, I'm low-key, my average of my crafters is already higher on this new character than on these ones. And then yeah, I was a 66 astrology and was my highest. And Summoner was my first class. Summoner Scholar. Arcanist was my first class. I just unlocked Samurai. As you can see, I wasn't really grinding like that. I have a ton of mounts on this account, which is sad. A ton of raid mounts on that account. But I'll live, I guess. It's sad, but I need to be retired. Oh yeah, let's see. Let's look at this cool adventure plate though. It makes me dizzy as crazy. I love glamour. Casual leveling, roleplaying. I need to make my adventure plate. I've been yelled at for my... Yep, there he is. I cry. I need to make my adventure plate. I've been getting slammed for not having an adventure plate yet. My long lost hubby on God. I just reunited with him. That's the fanfic I'm gonna be making is going to be also thank you for the follow. It's gonna be a Harsh Chiffon fanfic because I know there's an extreme somewhere where you reverse that fate and it's not for the best, and I need to get there to understand it so I can write the fanfic proper. It's Lumin. Hello, official stud VA, aka one of the best VAs and editors out there. Who I need to commission when I get money again. I'm poor. You have something I might like? What do you mean? Yes, are you going to deny me right now? You are all that and more. One of my faves. It's a heavy hatchling. Look at it. It's so big. Oh my god. 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 Look at it. It's a big chunker. It's a big chunk. I'm fine. It's so fat. It is. Hello, Archon. It's a big chunky. Oh, it's me. The new event mount? Not yet. My partner and I are trying to do the event together. Yeah, we're gonna do the event together, so I'll get it then. I have till the 26th. He and I need to low-key grind it tonight. I'm forcing him on tonight. He's asleep right now, but I'm forcing him on tonight. Yeah, I know it's one quest, but we wanted to do it together. Also, I need to do nothing. I just wanted to buy a beach thingy on the thing before I did it too. I think it was just a bonding thing. We wanted to do a quest together. We're lame like that. But yeah, I'm buying, I have so many things saved, bookmarked to buy tomorrow because for context, amount I need. Oh god. I do need that. That's on my list. And literally take your time. My comments are always open. I've never closed them, to be honest. Say less. Say less. I do need that mount. It's actually, I think, on my list because I've got a raise, overtime, and bonuses. What's this one? How do I get this one? What is this one? I need it. It's pink. It's pink. I love it. It's pink. It's from the moon. Oh yeah. I had a friend. One of my friends apparently walked from the moon the other day because she had no money. I think she had a viral tweet about it. She was looking for a sugar mommy in the game. She was like, I walked from the moon because I had no gil to transform myself back. And I was like, oh god. Yeah. I'll have to keep that in mind. Save this. I have a unicorn, a chocobo, and my carbuncle. Oh, since I'm crafting? No, crafting what? Keep in mind, I have 6 million or 7 million. I'll be okay. Oh, yes. I love those. I have eat soup. Yes, 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 yes. I love food. Doesn't make me hungry though, not gonna lie. 15! And then low-key I've been chugging mint lassie. Oh my god. Oh my god. What? Oh my god! What is that? It says kitten. Oh my god. Oh my god, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hold on, I saw kitten. Hold on. Listen, fat cat, I love you to death. However, I saw kitten. And it had, oh my god. The cats all get added. Look at it! Look at it! It's a flying cat! It's a flying cat, guys! It's a flying cat! It's a flying cat! Use my beckon emote. Beckon. Oh my god! This is the best day of my life. This is the best day of my life. Don't let my cats hear this. This is the best day of my life. This is the best day of my life. This is the best day of my life. Oh my god. I'm in love. Thank you so much. Also, this is just a note for anyone that visits me. I'm always open to having friends on this game. I think I only have 2 friends on this character. Well, if you guys ever find me, always feel free. I think, yeah, I literally have 2 friends on this character. I know I do, because it's my boyfriend and his friend. Your crafting gear? Let's see it. Yeah. Because yeah, I have 2 friends. It's so cute. I love it. I love it. And oh my god, the saw? Play. You're logging in real fast. Archon, hurry up. You have all the crafting there's crafting relics? I have now been informed there's crafting relics. Hold on, my boyfriend's gonna need to take a back seat. Hold on. Let me tell him right now. He needs to, so apparently there's crafting relics. They're only on the moon though, so you need to be an Endwalker. Oh. Okay, well, he's gonna be forced to help me in whichever way he can. Hey, Daeva? Sorry, I've been staring at my Gale kitten. You're not here. You're not the, are you the heavy hatchling? I love relics. Hey, Les, I'm gonna get all of them. Yeah, you close. I love having glamours. I remember you got the gathering ones too. Yeah, I'm gonna get all of them. I know there was one time I was visited by a glamour fairy on my alt. I'll call that my alt now. On my alt, and that is my aspiration. That is my endgame content. Can you get your fish to max? Yeah, my fish is at Archon. Your name is Archon in game. Crazy work. I think my fish is at 30, surprisingly. Oh, I see, no glow yet. I see. Hey, Les, I'm gonna grind Endwalker to the end. I've heard one spoiler for Endwalker, and I've been avoiding everything. Oh, I forgot I added chat bubbles. I added chat bubbles because I found out that they were a thing. Disabled by default. You guys can see what I'm typing. We ignore that. We ignore that. Yeah, all these outfits. I need to get glamours. I can't wait to be a glamour fairy. I'm gonna be a glamour fairy. I need to get the wings. I need to get the wings. We're convinced to keep an eye on the illegals because that used to be something you could only get with Huh? Illegals? Illegals? Oh, yes. I see what you mean. Yeah. Oh my god. Archon, of course you're a bun boy. Why are you running away? Archon. Oh my god. This makes so much sense. This makes so much sense for you. This makes so much. Why does it look like your VTuber too? Oh, chat bubbles are out recently. Oh, I see. Why are you so much taller than me? And yeah, I know I did. See, I can tell because of Velithras. Because I chose the tallest aura, and you're still taller than me. This is toxic. Wait, more could. Oh, I heard about that. You like RPing that in games? I'm taller than you IRL though. We all know this. On Switch, they can change the colors of the horns. Oh, you can? Oh my god. It's GG for me. I'm gonna be so purple. I am gonna get the. I'm literally about to get a Switch just for. I'm gonna get a Switch 2 literally just for Final Fantasy. Also, there isn't really any angelish race in Final Fantasy. True. There is an angel glamour thingy though, isn't there? I think. Should I pull up my big bookmarks of let's see. Let me pull this out real quick. Does this dox me anywhere? I have a custom tail on my side. Oh yeah, I have no mods on here. I heard that there's a new mod. Hold on, what my server was just talking about it. It's like the one in GTA with the and to allow that. New where you have a phone and has apps like in-game Twitter and Instagram called Ether phone. You're completely different on your end. Oop. Oh, you sent in DMs? Did you send it in the DMs on the account I'm actually on, or did you send it to my VTuber account? I love how it makes my hands look regular, but they look so pale. But those are my hands. I keep forgetting my character doesn't have. Oh, and there he goes. Yeah, I'm gonna get it, but because I stream so much, I just don't because I don't want to get caught streaming with mods on. Which I know some people do, but I'm not risking it. Okay, there it is. What kind of tail is that? It looks like... I don't know what it looks like. It looks more like it could be my tail than your tail. It looks very scaly. Oh, you play with shaders? Oh yeah, those were... I was looking at mods. I did find shaders that I liked. That I bookmarked. And I'd probably get the ether scroll thing. Ether. However it's pronounced. Let me get my gaming mouse up because I've been waiting for my mouse to charge this whole time. If you can actually help with legals. If you actually want help with legals, like I don't know if I'm in that at all. Oh, I know what you mean now. Mayhaps. I know I think I have Nexus Mod? I don't know. Like I said, I have nothing. I don't know either. I don't know what you can do. Not Nexus? Okay. I don't know where anything is, to be honest. I don't know. I mod no games. I think the only games I have mods on are The Sims and Paralives, which are the same exact genre of game. I had to threaten someone on my server. Did you see? I got my Gaily kitten. My kitten. It's just a little guy. My favorite little guy. Best day ever. Okay. And you're an ugly ass bunny boy. Little bitch. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. I'll beat you up. Just wait till I figure out my emotes. Just wait till I figure out my emotes. Over for you. Let me see. I have so many things. Let me show. Nope, that's the wrong thing. That's the wrong thing. Property. New tab. I literally have... Oh, you can't see it. I have a whole shop of Final Fantasy stuff. I need to try these all on. Because I found out. Don't worry, chat. What do you say? Yeah, I can see. Yeah. Hold on. Where am I? Oh, how do I click links? You can. It can be posted in stream. I don't know how to click links on here. How do you click links? Oh, think it. Yeah, it's open link. Oh, she's so pretty. Hold on, I'll show stream. So pretty. I love. Arkham, what did you just do? What are you giving me? I have nothing to offer on this account. Fish. Fishy fish. I love. One day I'll learn series. Oh, thank you, Archon. Let's go. Like, I would kill for some eggs right now. Thank you, Archon. I love fish. Beautiful fish. A raccoon and a moth? Oh my god. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I found out my character does not look good with the main outfit. It disappointed me so much the other day. I was looking this up and my character does not look good with the main outfit. I was so sad. But I think I'm gonna get this new one that just came out. She did look good with this. I think it'll be my Dark Knight one. For now. There's a ton of emotes here. I have to delete some of these actually. So I decided I don't actually want them. I think we can get... You're gonna warn me? Oh no. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, meow. I'm scared for the warning. I get a ton of emotes. Oh, I figured. I think I tried to go into the what's it called? What's that? You buy some more clothing? Yeah, I'm buying a ton of clothing tomorrow. Balmung? I tried to go there to see stuff. I never get to see stuff. Oh yeah, I was gonna buy this. I liked this. My Alta's on Balmung. Yeah, they're not allowing any new characters there right now. Oh, hold on. Oh, okay, well that works too. It's so bad. I never get to see it. I'm tempted to get this hair thing, but I think there might be better hair things I can get through raids. Oh, chat. The reason I'm trying to get to level 50 fast and also am trying to do the Grand Company stuff. One, house. You have a bunch of screenshots? Lucky. One, house. Two, my partner and I are getting married in the game as soon as I'm allowed to be married. That's also why I've been grinding a lot. Because he said we can do the platinum edition. That's also why I'm trying to get people in the game, because... Ow. It's scarring worthy. Okay, last. My Discord, same as this, or you can send it in the links if you're more comfortable. But feel free, I want to see. But we're doing this one, which apparently it gives you guys 2 minions. It gives the guests 2 minions. So we're doing the platinum one for the in-game marriage. So Archon, you need to make sure you're available. Oh yeah, the Discord, I can send a link. Let me find... Let me switch my account. And then... Invite to server. Copy. Oh. I did the wrong one. Hold on. I don't know, it should work either way. I stole this method from someone. I stole this method from someone. I stole this method. I've gotten way less bots since doing it, is all I'll say. Invite when I can. Yeah. Is that you get 2 things. Someone said to me you get more from the platinum thing. No, I can't do the raids yet, so you can go back to Supernatural Archon. I haven't unlocked raids yet. And now I'm distracted by the store. Oh, I should get the moon too. I should get the moon. I need to get Play Dead. I want the fantastic cheer set because it's purple. Zero's attire looks cool. My pre-enter question on my Discord to keep bot. Yeah, I have that one too, but I couldn't figure out how to do it because I was gonna get Woodland Warrens, but no. I forget why I didn't do it. I forget. I forget. Magic trick I want. Go posing ranger pose set. Consider Eureka, Snap, Pantomime. Basically all these emotes I was gonna get. Yeah. There was a lot of things I was gonna get. I was gonna have a very big cart tonight. It just asked if they are human. Oh yeah, I know some people have like a... I guess the best equivalent is like a honeypot question, where it's like, don't click if you're not a bot. Or something like that. You will get banned. But then people threatened to mess with that. So I just took it away because I knew I had enough trolls on my server. So I didn't feel like insta-banning yet. But I think I'm currently in the process of learning to develop a bot. I can develop a bot that will hopefully insta-ban people if they react to a certain thing, but haven't figured out how to implement that yet. And I'm still testing that bot out. It's been on the side of my it's taken a back seat. You can... Where should I put my creatures away? Honestly, I think enough people who play Final Fantasy 14 will know. that if you put something that's censored in Final Fantasy 14, I'd say if it's super NSFW, you can put an NSFW channel as well. There is a channel for that. Otherwise, Final Fantasy 14, just see Balmung and perceive it. Oh god. I've seen something. Sorry, a fly just went by me. It scared me to death. I've seen something. I forgot I have to do this. Sorry, I had to do something real quick. God. Nah, bro. Oh no. I'm scared. Was I supposed to build something? I got so sidetracked. Oh yeah, I had a tweet. Loki pop off on Twitter. Oh, Final Fantasy. A lot of people are rediscovering ARR. It has like over 2,000 views. 5 bookmarks. Who's bookmarking it? There's so many views though. I was just like, I love my girlie so much, and ARR is much better when you're not being rushed through it, which I have ended a friendship over getting rushed through ARR. I will say, there was a lot of other stuff, but I think ARR trying to rush me through the story did piss me off. But they're really bad ones behind the spoiler. Let's see this. I'm not surprised by some of these. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. How come I never saw this when I go to Balmung? You know, maybe it's because I didn't have the shaders on. You know what? That might have been it. Because this is... Wait, some of this is in Limsa. I should tag Kin. I should tag Kin. I should force him. But absolute creatures. I am, but I think for my sanity I should wait a bit. I think it's for the best. If I wait for a little tiny bit. That is. Whee! Kind of what I expected. It aligned with my expectations. Also, let me text my grandmother before I forget. I have more where you get the gist. Yeah. Yeah. Ay, ay, ay. Holy moly. Holy moly. Where is... You get... I think everything else I have is in The shroud. Oh no, close to the soul. I can make names abbreviated. Ooh. Yeah. I figure that'd be. Wait, I think I know where. Yeah. It'd be other. Yeah. Probably would be a good idea. Probably would be a good idea. Until then, I'll keep those in mind definitely for next time. Oh. Ah! Look at me. Ooh. Oh yeah, I used to be on Crystal. Apply that. I'll show mine because I show mine all the time. Oh, I forgot Joda Cat. Yeah, she's playing 14 now. Yeah. I'll definitely at least hide others. Actually, let me fix that real quick. Cause I did something else. I did something on accident. Oh, I see what I did. I see what I did. I see what I did. I fixed something else. You can find something? Yes. Ooh. I'm also bad at that, but I'm also not a celebrity playing on stream. Ay ay ay. Ay ay ay. Oh. R.I.P. R.I.P. I don't think I'd want to find her. I understand why some people do, but... Or... They were saying she was... It's crazy work. Yeah. Yeah. Ay, ay, ay. Not surprised. Surprised. I'm glad my chat's at least honest. We're all honest with each other. I'm like... Speaking of shit. Apparently I have to lock my cats up soon. which means they will be heavily involved. I need armor. I need to reassign these. Yeah, Arm Veil. Hated that place. Actually, I don't think it was my worst one, but I remember Arm Veil. The bane of my existence as a healer. Oh no. I have a fear of what she was doing in there. Please tell me she was at least playing DPS. Oh. Oh. I am learning Bard, I will say. I think, yeah, I have Archer up there. But oh no. Blacksmith. You can see that when buttons are being pressed, you want to cool down. Yeah. Oh, I see. Ooh. Constant is no bueno. All the, ooh. I wonder if she has something like enabled to cause that or something. Hmm. Just mushing, I feel like it was normal. What the hell? More like it was Mortal Kombat. It's crazy work. Oh no. That's ooh. Been there, but ooh. There is Hall of the Novice for a reason. Yeah. Lower down, but not ideal. I think it's on a walnut lumber. This I can make in a second. That I literally can't make. This I have to make. What do I have to make? Velveteen sugar loaf at. Oh, this. Dew thread, which is in my thingy. Okay, but I have everything else I need. Okay. Okay, so where's Ivy? Where's Ivy? Pow, 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 pow. I do more grinding for your relic. It's okay. I appreciate you. I'll probably go back to my crafting grinding, but it was nice seeing everyone. I do appreciate when you guys come by. It's very fun. Ah! I can expand my inventory? I can? Oh. Where's the scale window? Nope, not scale window. Ugh. character config? Oh, inventory is expanded. I. I'll fix that later. I do like switching because it helps me organize it all. This does help me organize. In my brain, it's organized. Well, probably in the future I'll change it, but this is off the store in the armory chat. But that one, yeah, I was looking at that one as well. Yeah. Yeah, mine is getting bad. I have to organize this next. This definitely needs to be organized. Okay. I have to go. Where do I have to go? I have to go to Costa del Sol. I need to buy some. Maybe also at Costa del Sol. I have 2 retainers. My retainers are holding everything, to be quite clear. My retainers are holding everything, don't worry. But this is just everything I need for the stuff I'm crafting right now. So I don't have to go to retainers in the intent. Yeah, one of my retainers is specifically for all my dungeon gear. I did set him up for that. So don't worry, they are fully organized, proper. But I think I'm gonna close it. Where do I buy this? I have to go to Limsa to buy this. Sydney Hill. Oh, there's a chest. Oh, I just sell some of it if it's like not dungeon gear. If it is dungeon gear, then I save it, but I'll keep that in mind. Oh, where are they? I have to go to Limsa. Tells you? Door. And the heavy hatchling. Oh, it looked. Okay. That creeped me out. It scared me. It nodded at me when I nodded at it. It scared me. Your heavy hatchling just broke the 4th wall. Oh my god. Where am I? That thing just broke the 4th wall. I'm scared now. It reminds me of how in The Sims, if you play on the Strangerville, they break the 4th wall. But that was a different kind of 4th wall break that just scared me half to death. This person. I'll see if I can get weathered fishing rod. I need this. Okay, I need like 10 of these. I also need Okay, Nightbot. Okay, Nightbot. Okay, Nightbot. Nightbot saw his moment to chat. Okay. Alright, where am I going? I made that. I have to go to Costa del Sol. Well, let me first. Is there a thingy over here? Yes. I have that equipped. What was I saying here? There was something I needed. I think he has it. I was thinking of something I realized I needed some. Oh, do thread. The other one has it. Oh, wrong one. Like my thread. Yeah. Okay. Alright. So now I just have to go to Coastal of the Soul. It's the thingy thing. Okay. Alright, I have to set a timer. I have to grab my cats in 11 minutes. I love how during the ad break, Nightbot was like, oh, we're gonna... Alright, what am I grabbing close to the soul? Trim key. I'm gonna pick a random spot. Alright, figure out something. Oh, it's like a Bianca something. Nope, I don't need that. Meow, 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 meow. They added gambling to the phone. Oh no. Of course they did. Gamba. Oh, that's what I did. Perfect. Let's see where we go first. East Shroud, North Shroud, and that's also North Shroud. South Shroud. I don't think anything's central. So yeah, walnut lumber, walnut logs, and oak branch. Right here. And work our way up. Oak branch. Log. I need the branches. Here. Ooh. I think I bought flax for like so much money. Or I had to avoid buying flax because they were charging so much money for it. Meow, 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 meow. Yeah, of course. I appreciate the lurk. Have a good nap. It was nice seeing you, and thanks for the gifts, and thanks for hanging out. And for the tea. The upper paths now. Nice not being attacked. So if that's Hawkman, I need to go over there. I think it is. Oh. Oh. I was gonna call you on my phone in a second, but I can put it to my phone. Yeah, and with sneak, I think it's up to 4 levels. Yeah, 4 levels above. I just made the mistake of doing something here when I should not have. But is it still 8:30 for you to go to work? They're that confident they can Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I texted you. I was make sure you were awake for that because I had a feeling. No, it's okay. Here it is. Yeah, I have to lock up my cats and grab some stuff I left my. I say apparently I know I left or not her room, her whatchamacallit, bathroom. I ran in, whatever. So yeah, I'll probably go do that now actually. So I'll be right back, chat. I'll put you on my phone after I Hello. Oh. Yeah, that's all just today's stuff. Where am I? Where the fuck am I? Hello? Oh my god. I was so scared for where I ended up. Yeah, I'm waiting for Andromeda to bang on the door. She is enjoying her spoils of her treat. Andromeda, I'm just gonna take one earbud off so I can hear if she cries. Are you still getting ready? Okay, I won't stream to you. Yeah, that's all my grinding for today. That's so I can make everything at the top of the list. To turn everything in. And then everything goes up, like, I think one thing went up like 4 or 5 levels the other day. Especially if I make it a high quality item. Mm-hmm. So... yeah. Wait, shit. I got the wrong thing. Fuck. I think that's enough walnut in case. How much you need to make a walnut? Number... need 3. Okay. 24, that's in multiple of 3. Perfect. Oh, I have my list. You think I have my list. Now I have to go to East Shroud. Get U lumber, fuel log. Which are just where this looked out. Perfect. What did... oh. No good. I have so many chocobos feathered. But yeah, apparently when you max out and you get to Endwalker, you can you can get relics for gathering and crafting. And they glow and stuff, and it's cool. That's what someone was showing. Does Ish? Oh, I guess I. Oh, that's one. Oh, there we go. Grinding, and then my grandma was like, "You do realize you do cleaning because he's gonna be here in a couple weeks." I was like, "Oh yeah, that's a thing." Oopsie. But I've been grinding for, like, ignoring my little break there, a couple hours. But I was also yapping for a bit. We were just yapping about the game. Then I forgot that Doja Cat is on the game, or plays the game on stream. And one of the servers is like extra congested because of Doja Cat. That's a multiple of 3. That's good to me. Now I have to go to North Shroud for everything else, which is Concord Float. What did I just teleport to? I don't feel like doing all that. Perfect. Alright, so what do I have to get from here? I have to fish for something. And then I have to go to Alder Springs. Which is the area I'm in. Okay. I have to get cabbage and eggplant. I think are right out here. And there's the fish, and then I'm done. Oh, and then I have to buy stuff, but that's buying stuff. V, you're fine. Hello, Nolly. Ooh. Oh, it's exactly 4 levels, thank fucking god. Hi V, I know your sister abandoned you. Hi Nolly, just grinding some Final Fantasy crafting gathering. V, your sister abandoned you, that's nothing I can do to help. I'll give you more treats when she comes in. And you can steal them. Yeah, you can steal them. As revenge. Also, you just went poop, I can smell it. Oh, get down. I love you enough. Get away from me. Love you. Go. Go this way. Here. Go this way. Go that way. Go that way. Go, 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 go. Go lay down from wherever you want. Oh, butt smells. Good. Go. Poop. Go. 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 Way before everyone else on this vacation. We love gathering grinding. Yeah. Now I get to fish. But yeah, I'm about to get everything above 30, close to 40. V, I swear to God. No. Don't make me use my mom voice. But no. No. Go. She wants to be let out, and she can't. Oh, shit. Wrong thing. Wrong thing. No. Is she right? No. She wants to be let out, and it's not my fault. What are we even supposed to grab? Anali, I have like a whole list here of everything I'm supposed to gather, and then everything I have to buy. Which thankfully I only have to buy one thing now. Alright, I need shadow catfish. Hopefully I get it. I doubt it. I'm bad at fishing. My fishing abilities, don't know them. I'll learn eventually. Don't give me a new minion too. It's a cat that flies and can sit on your shoulder. Oh, it smells so bad right now because of V. Holy shit. Alright, 30 times the charm, surely. Resting XP is valid. Oh, got away. Oh my god. I got what I needed. Wait. Please no. I needed this for a quest. Wait, hold on. Before I do that. GP to level up faster. I was literally just looking at the quest I have and I was like, huh, what am I supposed to do for that? Don't remember. I just saw. I actually need it. Okay, got away. Great, love it here. Need this right here. V, I love you to death. Get down. You smell right now. Poop. Get out. Go. Oh my god, I'm gonna crash off. Hold on. I muted on stream so I could say that. Thankfully, Nolly, next week, after I work 6 days straight, I have 2 days off, which means I can do this. I get... Ooh, I need this. Perfect. I think I want a different hairstyle. It ran away. I'm gonna crash out. I'm gonna crash out. Thank fucking. I'm gonna go see if I can get my cat. I managed to get my cat. Holy shit. Go. Let me ask. Go. What the? Oh, you got it's still bad? Hello? Oh. Alright, I have that. Need myth. I don't think I can get. No. Anyway, it's first. So hold on, give me 1 second, I'm locking in. Yeah, after I finish these. Alright, so that's done. Oh, you turned your camera on. Now I'm time to end stream. Well, I've been streaming for almost 3 hours. Alright, chat. I have to go. Wow, crazy. I have to go. I might be back later. We might do a long stream later, but I have to go right now. Bye bye.